Hello and welcome to another fantastic episode of Schnozzcast, episode 159 on February 5th, 2022. This is Bob, joined by my magnificent chums, Cory, Nick Bader, Todd Dillon. What do we got to get through tonight? Some booze news, more grievances, a little bit of the return of 90-second sports, maybe just the once. Nick's existential question of the week, gentleman's agreement, and pick of the week. So, kids, how is everybody doing?
Oh, fantastic tonight.
Cory.
Oh, hey.
There it is. Todd Dillon.
I'm mighty.
So we've been laboring underneath a bit of snow this week. What's the situation like in Seattle for those who are curious?
Oh, it was a beautiful day here. It was about 49 degrees, sunny.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Okay.
Did you get any snow at all this past week, or is it only the East Coast?
Only the Eastern Seaboard. We had a nice reprieve. Actually, going to be nice tomorrow. Even nicer tomorrow. 58 degrees and sun. Nice.
If only we were rich. We'd get on a plane and fly out there. We do this bitch from Seattle.
Seriously, I'd stay in that coop all day long.
That's where we'd be sleeping. Oh, hold on.
A little echo. Oh, and it's gone.
All right.
Thank you, Cory. No problem.
Look at that.
Wow, seriously, with the brick, like, I never knew that brick matched the brick that I made on the other background. I had no clue.
And everything kind of blends pretty seamlessly, so it's like you're not even looking at it. But this is great. I love it.
That's awesome, yeah.
All right, if you are new to the podcast, thanks for tuning in. You can find us here every weekend. We release on Fridays, so make sure and find us out on the streaming services, iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, or Audible, and give us a like or a subscribe. That way you hear when we go live and we release a new episode. You can also follow us on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Schnozzcast. Consider yourself Bill Shakespeare over there. You can email us at schnozzcast@gmail.com, or you can call and text us at any time, day or night, at 618-SHOCKER.
Hey, Dad, is that Bill Shakespeare?
I can't tell.
A writer!
I miss him so much.
Yeah, seriously.
Taken from this earth too soon.
Yep. Hashtag too soon.
All right, guys.
It's so funny. Anytime anyone, like any celebrity or anyone passes away, I don't know if you guys have heard that drop or that clip from Michael Jackson where he's reading. He's like, sparkly, shiny and bright. Here one day.
Is that a thing?
Gone one night. Gone too soon. It's Michael Jackson reading this.
No, I didn't know
this
that
little
existed.
poem. Oh, they love it. Anytime any celebrity passes, they always play it.
I've never heard it.
Oh my God! So now I gotta find it. I gotta find it somewhere. But it is legit Michael Jackson. They do a lot of like Michael Jackson impersonations, but this is legitimately him. Yeah, he must have done it for a friend or someone, maybe like Elizabeth Taylor or something. Or is she still alive?
I mean, at some point she was alive during his lifetime. I don't know when she died.
I know. I remember hearing that they were like BFFs.
They were pretty tight.
BFFs, yeah.
Yeah.
By pretty tight.
Well,
that's what she said.
it's a turn of phrase.
Ho!
Got it.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's a metaphor for their relationship. I'm just saying they were close.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Those two and the monkey. Bubbles.
Ooh.
Bubbles the Jim. He was such a fucking weird kid, dude. Oh my God. Didn't he have like a roller coaster or something on his property?
Who? MJ?
Yeah.
Oh God, he had Neverland.
I was gonna say there was Neverland. Yeah, it's a whole
a merry-go-round, roller coasters.
Zoo. So I am not a aficionado of Michael Jackson, so I know of Neverland Ranch, but I've never actually studied like what was there in Neverland Ranch.
Oh my God!
I just assumed
everything.
It was all manner
it's a zoo, an amusement park,
a carnival, a roller coaster, like everything. And
wow,
they were just talking about this a couple weeks ago. They're like, how do we always, everyone just let this slide because it was Michael Jackson. Like, but how he went on like talk shows and interviews and things like that. And he's like, there's nothing better than sharing your bed with a child.
Is that Michael Jackson?
How could you say that that's something bad? Sharing your bed with a child is one of the biggest honors in the world. And everyone's like, yeah, it makes sense. That sounds good, Michael. But it's so creepy, like, to think about, like, rehearing those
now
interviews.
That you've talked in his voice, yeah, it is creepy to think about.
It is creepy.
I'm going to try not to think about it, for a long time tonight.
It was creepy.
I've never heard your Michael Jackson.
I just saw, too, like, the other day, like, the throwback of Oprah interviewing him. And she's like, so I'm just going to come out and say this. I mean, it must have been like in the 80s. She's like, are you a virgin? And I'm like, wait, what? Oprah?
You go, girl.
And,
go on.
Yeah. No. And he's like, I don't know what to say. She's like, it's pretty simple. I'm just coming right out and asking you. And he's like, I'm embarrassed. She's like, so does that mean you are?
Yes or no question, you freak.
That means you. That was when she was like, kind of had that like that
King of pop freak to you, Bob.
That journalistic edge to her,
My bad.
And he's like, I don't really know. She's like, well, okay, so it's either yes or no. And he's like, well, I'm embarrassed now that you asked me. And she's like, okay, so you're not going to answer the question, okay? All right. And I'm like, Oprah, yes, it was awesome, but it was really creepy.
I don't doubt that.
And I like Michael Jackson's music. Like, I think he's awesome, and he was, groundbreaking on everything else he did. But
yeah, but I think
some of his clips are really creepy.
I think about his music like I think about Bill Cosby's comedy.
Hold on. Again, I think I don't think of it that way. Bill Cosby is a known convicted rapist. I think at the end of the day, he wouldn't be a virgin if he's actually poking the little kids in his bed. So it's not like people kept sending their kids there. I think he was a very strange dude, like artists are. But no, and again, I know that he paid people, but I don't.
Yeah,
there's like one kid he paid $16 million
to make the problem go away, though. I don't think Macaulay Culkin didn't get poked by Michael Jackson, and he was one of those kids.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that as well. I don't know if it's all because of Drew and Mike or it's kind of a menagerie of that, and then I notice it kind of like you buy a Jeep and now you're noticing every Jeep on the road kind of thing. But like I remember there was a clip it or a snippet, Cory.
Snippets and the clippets?
Yeah. That was Macaulay Culkin like really coming to his defense. Like he never did anything weird. He was a kind of strange guy, but he was a lot of fun. He never did any of this stuff.
Yeah, our handyman was really good friends with he was in a band with a guy named
he's going somewhere.
I can't remember. He's got Dave. There's a Google
yes, Dave.
Strange
Dave.
name guy. Dave. There's a guy.
Dave.
Wait, was his first
guy named Dave?
You are making.
I'm not making it up.
No.
You can Google it.
Your handyman's name is Dave.
That's not correct.
No. My handyman was good friends with a guy named Dave.
What's your handyman? Don't. That's Dave. Never mind. Don't say your handyman's name.
I'm not going to say his name, but he was
okay.
from.
Is Dave like a stage
name? Dave is famous.
It's like the founder of Wendy's grandson, Thomas.
Dave.
Dave is an artist. Look him up on.
Let's just say this: he's not very normal looking, is he?
Michael Jackson befriended him because if you Google him, you'll see his facial features are really bad.
I see him.
He's got a birth defect, so.
Oh, now I feel bad.
Real funny. Cory.
Why didn't you lead with that, Todd?
Because I didn't think that was pertinent to the story, but I was my handyman was good.
You didn't
that him having a birth defect was pertinent?
Yeah, that it might have stopped me from abusing him for his name.
I tried to stop you.
Saying he has a birth defect is a great way to do that.
I'm sorry, birth defect or not, if your name is Dave, you can that's still grounds to be made fun of.
I don't know, man. I'm a nice guy.
You're not.
Birth defect. Even though
you play one on TV, but you're not.
That's true.
So Dave was your handyman?
No. My handyman. My handyman. Is a part-time musician as well, and was good was good friends with Dave. Dave passed away at 42.
Todd, I don't think it's funny that he passed away, but continue, buddy. And so,
no, it's just again, I wasn't trying to make it funny. I happen to have a connection, but again, also a person who spent a lot of time with Michael Jackson, who also defended him, and so again, I've had similar conversations with my handyman because he's also been kind of in the know with someone who was very close personal friends with Michael Jackson.
Okay, there's the full circle. Yeah, I was not tying it. I'm like, okay, Dave, handyman, I'm following you. I'm like, okay, so Dave knew Michael Jackson.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, it almost looks like he has like burn scars.
Yeah, his dad tried to burn him to death.
Jesus.
It's a birth defect. I apologize. His dad tried to kill him when he was a baby.
There's so many rotten asshole people in the world.
Can I just say, I love that. So we're all on a podcast together. We're all good friends. And Todd went to raise a point about his handyman knowing a guy named Dave. And he legitimately gave no thought to the fact that the guy's name was Dave. And like when you do that in a story, you kind of know, like, okay, you hear me out, guys, because his name was ... There was none of that from Todd. Todd's like, just matter of fact, like his name was Dave, and yeah, didn't expect us to go like, wait, what? His name is Dave.
Surprisingly, he didn't expect that.
I'm surprised. I'm not going to say it's a grievance. I'm just saying I'm a little
but
amused
it's strange
that you didn't.
I'm taking it back.
You gave it no thought. You're like, oh, it's as though his name was Phil Johnson.
He could have easily been
actually, technically, his name was David Rothenberg.
No, don't blow it for me. It's always Dave to me now.
He could have easily been like, yeah, so my handyman's friend is this guy named Dave that knows Michael Jackson. But he had to throw in the second Dave.
That's true.
Like it was nothing.
I did.
Like it was nothing. Like as
because people only know him by the Dave.
People who know him, right? But we
people
aren't
in the know.
His close friends,
like as if
and confidants.
You are now introducing to us the first time the concept of a guy named Dave.
But as if you had a son named Dylan, and you thought it was no big deal. Like,
well, of course I'd spell it Dylan.
Oh God, come on.
Hey, that's how my sister.
And I don't even know why Bob's giving me grief. Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
We both went to college together. We both played football with a guy whose name was
Joey Joseph.
Joseph.
Well, but you don't ever call him Joseph.
I did.
Like Dave.
I called him Dick, and then I called him Joseph after that.
That's fair, but you thought he was a dick. In general, he goes by Joey Joseph. Dave
not
doesn't
by
go
me.
by Davey Dave. He goes by Dave. It's a little different.
Well, it was like
I called him Joseph or Dick.
I know you did, but he didn't go by that. Dave he decided my name's going to be Dave.
Well, we don't know. He decided it.
I was going to say, did he pick
maybe
that,
a good
or
buddy called him that?
Did MJ call him that?
He was a hip hop guy.
Wikipedia calls him Dave.
Wikipedia didn't pick his name. They go, what's this guy's name? Let's look it up. It's Dave. That's his decision.
Yeah.
Remember how perplexed George was on Seinfeld with the guy named Herbert Hebert? It's the same name. It's a beautiful thing. You can say it backwards, and it's still Herbert Hebert.
Yeah.
I'm going to find a situation in life that there is no
Thank you.
Seinfeld episode.
You highlighted a grievance I have that I forgot to write down.
Write that down, Todd.
Write it down right
Talking
now.
about Seinfeld too much?
We got time.
No.
No.
Doesn't it honestly look like Todd could go and turn that TV off right next to it?
Or reach over and grab the beer on top of it?
I'm reaching the wrong way.
I don't feel like I noticed
awesome.
this last week.
So I didn't know he had done but he's like, we're releasing the video. So I'm like, let me just take a look at it. I'm like, oh my God, the background's different. The configuration's different. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is how everything was for last week.
Yeah,
too.
right.
Yeah.
But didn't I send that? I mean, I know they weren't privy to the conversation when you reached out to me to do it, but didn't I send that in the group, that background, and they were like, "Oh, it looks good," or something like that.
I think you sent it in the group. Yeah,
They probably
could be.
It was out of context. They probably didn't know what it was for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 100%
Pretty fair.
true.
Yeah,
I
pretty
didn't
fair.
know. But I do remember seeing it and still didn't put
Yeah.
it
So
together.
for people that don't know, Cory reached out to me Bob had come to me months ago and said that he really likes the larger screen pictures of us.
Yeah, we're all a bunch of handsome motherfuckers. We need to be.
Well,
we need to take up more than like 1/3 of the screen.
And that the other ones are, unless you have a big TV or something, if you're watching on your phone, it's very hard to watch.
Oh, people, if you're not streaming us to your 60-inch television in high definition,
60-inch,
you're losing. Well, I'm saying if you don't have like helicopter Seattle money, just a 60-inch TV.
But if you have like VR money, you can download YouTube VR and watch us in a 200-inch screen, which is almost unwatchable. When I have to look like this and I have to go left and right to see who's talking, like
left nostril, right nostril.
Yeah, but yeah. So anyhow, Cory reached out to me. We had all kind of kicked the tires about this before, about doing it this style as opposed to the small frames. And he just said, hey, can you do a background to where this fits? I said, let me see what I can do. So this is what we came up with, I think, last week, right, Cory?
Yeah. Last week was the first episode that we rearranged all this.
And I had no intention of blending this background with the background that's on there.
I noticed that when I put it in the switcher, and I'm like, oh, that does go pretty well.
I had no clue, but yeah.
Let's just pretend like we're a real successful podcast and say that if you like the new background, send us an email or text us at 618-SHOCKER and let us know what you think.
That's right.
And with that, Cory, let's do a little booze news.
And now it's time for booze news.
All right. Just one article to go through today. This is something that caught my attention because I know enough nerds. And
truer words have never been spoken.
Yeah. So it comes from architecturaldigest.com. Stick with me. That's going to be a short story.
Thank God.
Snooze.
Short story.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Here's a piece of advice for anybody looking to invest wisely for long-term gains. Don't get rid of those old Lego sets just because you feel like they're garbage now, because they might be worth some serious dough one day. There's a study that was done by the Higher School of Economics in Moscow that found that prices for retired Lego sets grew 11% annually between 1987 and 2015, which is a rate that's faster than bonds, stocks, or even gold. So huge return on investment, and they concluded that they're not exposed to risk factors, and they're not very dependent upon the stock market. They're long-term investments that yield returns within 2 to 3 years of the sets being discontinued. So if you're a dork out there and you've got kids that are old enough to play with Lego sets, hold on to them. The ones that, not the kids, the Lego sets,
not the dorks.
Get rid of them.
So to start, prices of the small and the very large sets grow faster than medium-sized sets, because the smaller sets have more unique parts and figurines, while the larger sets are rarer and they appeal more to adults, meaning that the stupid kids can't get them done with any kind of speed because there's too many pieces.
Or because their hands are too big.
Or right. Size of the hands may play into that. Sets tied to hit movies, holidays, and well-known buildings see the highest growth in value, as do limited edition sets. The top valued sets today include the Taj Mahal, the Imperial Star Destroyer, and the Millennium Falcon. Why do they rise in value so quickly, you ask? Great question. They are produced in small quantities, with special edition sets being the most limited. They're also not widely available in the secondary market because owners lose the parts, or they don't want to part with the sets that they love. And because they're beloved by both adults and kids, they've been around for decades. The study assumes that more time has passed since the set first showed up on the market, and therefore the more nostalgic and desirable it becomes. So long story short, if you have those sets, hold on to them. Look on eBay, because they may be worth some money.
So,
Bob.
You guys can fight it out.
No, go ahead, Todd.
Todd, what's up?
Oh, sorry, Nick. Quickly, I was going to say, every Lego set that I had as a child, within 2 days they were apart missing, because I had a younger brother and sister, right? So I think therein lies the rub. Like, if you were smart enough to actually keep it either to get the thing assembled and together, awesome. Otherwise, 90% of people lost pieces because your parents stepped on them and threw the piece in the garbage after they stepped on it. So yeah, that's why it's impossible to have them. At least in my household, it was impossible to keep anything. Although I do have a 100-year anniversary Harley Davidson one that I put together that did take me forever because my hands are too big.
Dude, can you do me a favor and for next week, just make a note to this week, like look it up on eBay and see how much that shit's worth. I'd be interested in.
Sure.
I was actually, we were at Target today, and Danielle was buying a birthday present for the little girl that she babysits. And so we were up and down the toy aisles, and I, of course, went by the Legos. I'm like, I got to take a look at these.
Of course.
And, dude, the sets, like, they had a Fender guitar, 2 scale,
Yeah.
and a Marshall amp that you had to build out of this set.
Please tell me that it worked.
No, unfortunately, the guitar did not work. Not
That would be amazing. A Lego guitar that actually worked.
Oh, that would be pretty sweet. But yeah, full size amp, full size guitar, and then there was a like maybe half scale R2D2. If you guys had to guess the prices on each of those from today's market in store, what they go for.
I'm enough of a dork to I could tell you that R2D2 is probably $250.
Todd?
I can't guess on the other ones.
I have no idea. I have no idea how much they cost.
Nick, any guess?
I don't know. The one that you have to put together yourself?
Yeah.
$99.
The R2D2 is $200. The Fender guitar was $300.
Wow.
But it's to scale like a.
So I win.
size.
So I win, right?
Yeah, sure.
Closest without going over, right? Isn't it? Yeah. Okay. No. So what I was going to say before everyone else wanted to chime in was that I didn't have like my.
You did say no, Todd. Go ahead.
I said Todd, go ahead. Not Todd and Bob and Cory, go ahead.
That's what we heard.
But then there's a rebuttal to.
If I was standing in line, you guys just knocked me over and got in my place.
I wave
Another pet peeve. Another grievance.
For him to just go, Todd, go ahead, and then Todd gets his point out, and then Nick goes, okay. So anyway,
Todd, I said
no
Todd, go
rebuttal.
ahead.
No rebuttal to Todd.
That actually reminds me of Danielle and I were in the store today.
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? We're living in a society. We need to act in a civilized manner. No, but it's not even that funny anymore. But
New grievance.
I don't even think it was that funny in the first place. But my family never got me Legos. Like really, that wasn't the thing. That wasn't our thing. Okay. I had a lot of Matchbox cars, Ninja Turtles, later on Power Rangers, things like that.
Did you have friends that had Legos?
I had a friend across the street, my best friend, that his family was big. They weren't into like toys, but they were into Legos, and they got him Legos all the time. And I specifically remember, like, those were the days that nobody had the kits, you know, as far as my friends, where it was like, okay, where's the white 3-piece block? Let's get. It was a box of fucking Legos, and you put shit together.
Well, yeah, but
like an erector set.
Yeah, it was just a hodgepodge of fucking like everyone's kit in this box. But what I do remember specifically, and it was a very ooh moment, he got and this was like kind of around the time where they were starting to branch out into like specialized kits. He got the like pirate ship island or something kit where it was like a full-size Spanish galleon with all like the brown pieces to put it and the little pirate flags and the little palm trees and stuff. And that was like, ooh. Like they had little swords like in buccaneer hats and stuff. And I was like, this is so cool.
I remember because they had the Lego Island series.
Yeah,
that was around for a while.
That was really cool.
But how people got those big boxes and bins of Legos was from buying
little small kits,
little small kit here and there, and then once you made it and you played with it for a day or two, you just broke it apart and everything went into the community box, and then you could build whatever you wanted from that.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're not live.
Yeah.
My finger's hovering over there is a limited edition Lego Star Wars Ultimate Millennium Falcon expert building kit that's for sale on Amazon for $799.95.
$7?
$799.95.
$7.99.
Oh, okay. That's a lot.
That's a lot for Lego.
For us peons, that's a lot. But
Todd.
Speak.
I clicked the button.
Todd.
Wait, hang on. Which button did you just click?
It's an investment, bitches.
It's in stock.
Okay, so what's the next button you click?
Dude, you understand.
Add to cart, baby.
Do you understand
buy now, Todd.
Also
buy now.
Todd, do you understand how rock hard the silver fox sitting next to me is right now just hearing about this? I mean, not even that you're going to buy it, but just hearing that someone is like, ooh, has the Millennium Falcon Lego set in Falcon?
I wasn't gonna point it out, but
Falcon.
After I take a shower, I like to use a little Falcon powder.
But I will say this because it rings true for me personally. Out of nowhere, my sister for my birthday got me, and I think you guys saw on Facebook, but she got me the Friends Lego set. It's like Central Perk, the coffee shop. I didn't ask for that. It wasn't like I played with Legos when I was younger too much, so she wouldn't. But she said she went into a store and saw it, thought of me. And there's a secondary box of all these little tiny lights and stuff, and it said Friends Central Perk lighting kit.
Yes. Yep. That's big in Legos nowadays, and I know that because Lori's son was 10. I just got him some Legos for Christmas, and they had an aftermarket lighting kit that you could buy for the kit.
Wow. So it's going to be amazing when I put it together, but I started and I got like 20 minutes into it, and there was like nothing to even show for it. It was like maybe 30 pieces.
So you need that.
that's the whole idea of building the Lego set.
And I'm like, okay, but I never did that. I was just kind of my own creative person when I was younger with Legos. I didn't
Maybe
like
we'll have to come
follow
over during the week.
I didn't follow directions, you know.
It'll be a group exercise.
I'd love to give him a jigsaw puzzle and just be like, sit down.
There's like 5,000 pieces to this.
2. Oh, why is this taking so long?
There's a whole colorized book like talking about the guy that created it, and I'm like,
wait, there's how many pieces?
Oh, dude, there are a lot of pieces.
no.
There are a lot of pieces.
I thought this was a 2-piece set.
Well, I was going to ask you before, and I, if you already answered this, tell me. But did you ever, like, knowing that your friend across the street had Legos? Did you go and play with those Legos with him?
Yeah.
Did you ever wish like, oh, I wish I had some Legos?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Okay. So now that you are, an adult with a job and income, you could go out and buy your own Legos. Did you ever think like, oh, I'd like to have that experience in my life? Just buy a set.
No, because I'm not a kid.
You don't have to be a kid.
You know how many Nerf guns I've bought?
Yeah, he's a grown man.
I mean,
This
Look at all
thing
the Funkos
says
down there. Come on.
I had a pretty good childhood,
Millennium
so maybe
Falcon.
I don't need to relive that.
Go ahead, Todd.
The Millennium Falcon kit right here says best gift and movie collectible for adults. Nick, this has your name on it.
Of course, okay. First of all, I don't watch Star Wars, and if you didn't figure that out by saying Falcon, I'm telling you right now,
You can buy like a Ferrari. You can buy like a Jeep Hummer. You can buy a fucking forklift. I mean, you can buy anything you want.
I have a full studio in my basement. Do I have room for a full-size Ferrari? I mean, come on.
All I'm saying is,
People buy me toys when I don't even want them.
it's a.
I'm getting people on Snapchat asking me, what are those Funko whatever they're called in your... I'm like, don't even fucking ask.
Pretty impressive that people noticed him, though, just saying.
Yeah, because it's like a doll in the background. I look like a crazy person. I'm 39.
You look like a crazy person because you're
only
39
as young
and
as you
sending out
feel.
Snapchats.
You're only as young
You're
as you feel.
39? I thought you were like 26. Holy
Thanks, Todd,
shit.
but I don't buy that.
Oh wow. It seems like it's a good time to get some grievances going. We've already kind of done that a little bit.
Before we do that,
Yeah.
I have to interject.
Sure.
What?
Interject. It's clearing my throat. I have to interject because we had a request that we don't do this enough, and it's something that we should probably be doing. There are people that want to know, since we are a drinking-friendly podcast,
We only assume.
what we're drinking. Hey, what are you guys drinking tonight? So we decided that we would not necessarily a segment, but create some time to actually talk about each individual person what we're drinking. So
I guess we'll save you to the end then. Cory.
no, yeah, it's fine. I know what he's drinking.
I'm ready.
Todd, what are you drinking, buddy?
Yep. Yes, sir. I'm drinking Health Aid Kombucha, passion fruit and tangerine, and it is fabulous and good for you.
And Todd, is this what we talked about earlier? Why you're drinking that?
Yes.
Do you want to disclose that or no?
Sure. So each February, and I'm a huge goal setter, as anybody who knows me knows. I love setting goals and sticking to what I say I'm going to do. And so every year in February, I celebrate Black History Month by not drinking anything for the entire month. And it's easy to do because it's the shortest month of the year. So I am on the no alcohol for the month.
Is there like a deeper reason like for it, or you just picked February?
Yeah. How does not
are you
drinking
like,
honor
hey,
Black
because
History
of
Month?
because of all this oppression, the least I could do is deprive myself of one thing, in honor of that. Like, is there a reason?
So shamefully, yes, there is another underlying reason. So besides it, so it's the trifecta. It's Black History Month. It's the shortest month, right? So it's the easiest duration that I can go without drinking. And then secondarily, every year in March, I do my physical. And so it's nice to go and see my doctor and go, and I haven't drank a thing in a month.
I really thought you were going somewhere
with Black History Month.
Yeah.
But as it turns out, I just want my doctor to realize that I'm not a fucking fat piece of shit.
I'm gaining so much respect for Todd right now. All of a sudden he's like, it's the shortest month, and I appear healthier to my doctor.
Look, I think we've proven that it's not just white people that can blow off like New Year's resolutions and all sorts of healthy efforts to get back in shape. It's everybody can do it. Just blow it off. Just make it as easy as possible for yourself.
Did you not know that till just now?
It just hit me though. Nothing drives it home like a tangible, concrete example.
Exactly. Lower the bar.
I guess we're not that different after all.
In the name of Black History Month, I'm not going to drink. I also have a doctor's appointment in March.
Well, Todd, you're honest if nothing else, and I appreciate that, brother.
I love it so much. All right, we got a shot sitting here. Wait, we didn't go through the room. Nick.
Yeah, we'll do our shot first because they're going to get warm. And
you just real quick because we're all drinking the same thing.
Okay, so this week went out, got a new keg with the mug club that we're doing here in the basement in the Schnozzcast studios, and we have Soft Parade by Shorts Brewing Company, which is 7.5% ABV.
And if you watch the podcast to the end, you will know where all that ABV went because you'll see it reflected here on camera.
So Soft Parade is a fruit ale. They use 4 different kinds. I think blackberries, raspberries, strawberries, and blueberries.
And snozzberries?
No snozzberries.
Tastes like snozzberries.
What about Loganberries?
That's on draft, and we are Bob and I are doing Fireball tonight.
Yeah, but if there's no Loganberries in this beer, I might dump it out and drink something out of the fridge.
Okay, Todd, what are you doing? Oh, you already talked to. Oh, Cory, what are you doing?
New Bud Light hard sodas. Woo! 0 sugar. Taste absolutely phenomenal.
Sounds disgusting, but okay.
So
Dude, they're great. They're absolutely great.
For people that don't know, I was just looking at them. There's like basically, I'm assuming orange soda, vodka, regular cola,
Like a
Sprite.
creamsicle in a glass.
It tastes like Fanta.
That doesn't make it better.
I like.
You could have
Fanta.
named any pop. You chose to go with Fanta.
Orange pop. Regular pop.
Last time at a Fanta, I was staying at a Motel 6, and I got out of the vending machine down by the snooker game.
Well, you
Do
were.
they have a rock and rye flavor?
I don't know, dude. If they had a rock and rye flavor, that'd be the shit.
It would, wouldn't it?
Cherry Coke or cherry cola, whatever you want to call it, and then like a Sprite.
Cool.
Okay.
And what are you?
What
doing
about Red
shots
Pop?
Todd. No, they do not.
of? What are you doing shots of?
Butter shots.
Butter shots.
You need to stop coming up with these great ideas.
Cheers.
Hey, cheers, everybody. If you got something, grab it. If you don't, pause us and then come back. There you are. Here we go.
Cheese pizza.
Kombucha.
Do you guys think that after 159 episodes, people are listening to this and they might actually think this is the only thing I think we should be going for?
What's
by
that?
the way? Hey, I think they figured it out.
No. If we ever get people to listen to us, it's going to be like a long time in the future, like well after we stop doing this.
We'll be well gone.
We won't be doing the podcast anymore. This will just be
Yeah,
relegated to
it's going to be like the
archives.
It's going to be like the artist that was never appreciated that died, and now all his paintings are.
They'll be
really
talking about
special.
us like you were talking about Michael Jackson. Like, hey, remember those assholes who did that podcast?
People are like, this was great. I wish they were still doing it. I don't know why. I don't know why they gave up after 350 episodes.
We'll be sitting in our easy chairs watching Sanford and Son reruns, and all of a sudden your phone will ding, and we're like, hey, it's this call from fucking Molly. They're asking if we can come back and do a reunion for the podcast. Are you in?
It hurt really, really bad. They grabbed me by my shoulder. It hurt really bad, and it stunk so bad.
There are also many clips like that
That only you know.
Him describing his treatment from law enforcement. And he says they hurt his shoulder, and they put him in a room that smelled really bad.
He
said there were feces on the wall and all this, which that would be horrible if that was the case, but it is really funny.
Him is Michael Jackson, in case you tuned in at the 37-minute mark and only plan to listen to the 38-minute mark and you don't know who we're talking about. It's Michael Jackson.
Well, that's kind of wishful thinking, Bob.
Todd Dillon, we got to
Yes,
dish it off to get away from the King of Pop for a minute because you've got a couple of grievances. We need to do some airing of grievances, sir.
Yes. So my first grievance is I was driving through, as many of you know, well, you guys know, I live in a small town, and so we don't have any four lane roads, but there's a couple of places in town where you need to parallel park. And my grievance is people who can't parallel park, who try to parallel park, knowing that they can't parallel park, and then hold up traffic for 45 minutes, only to drive away from the spot that they knew they couldn't get into from the beginning. This needs to stop. If you can't parallel park, drive around to the back of the building and pull in head face first.
Wait,
do yourself a favor.
Head face first.
Head face first, the front of your car, whatever. Don't try and parallel park if you know you can't parallel park. I don't know why, and it happens every single time I roll through the town next to me. Some a-hole is driving through town and like, oh, there's a great spot. And they look at their car and they're like, I think I can get in there. And then they go, and you can tell right away, I'm like, nope, they're not going to make it. They're not going to make it.
Nope.
And then they dick around for 20 minutes. Traffic's backing up, and I'm sitting there trying my best not to honk the horn, yell at them, or get out and park their car for them. And then they drive away. That is my grievance. Number one.
Yeah, well, so before we go on to the second one, yes,
sir.
I would piggyback on that to say I don't understand why people who are parallel parking can't get it done. This should be a skill that you learned before you got your driver's license.
Correct.
And unless you live in a town where there's no parking on the street, you should get some practice at this regularly. And if it's snowing, like I had to park, so we went downtown last night to go down to Bucharest Grill to get shawarma. And so we're downtown Detroit, love shawarma, but I had to parallel park, and we had a lot of snow downtown and not a lot of plowing done, so there was a bunch of snowy hills and shit I had to park on, and the space was tight, but I fucking did it. I did it in one shot, stop, reverse, back in, done. If you can't do that, don't attempt it. Just go find somewhere else and pay for the parking like a normal person.
And not to toot my own horn, but beep beep. I can parallel park, no problem. But I think ever since I've been driving, I've maybe only done it twice, and that was because I absolutely had to literally get like the best spot possible, and there was no other choice except to parallel park. So twice in the 17 years I've been driving. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's no reason to really ever parallel park. There's many other ways to avoid it.
Absolutely. And if you know you can't, don't start. Don't think that today's going to be the day. I've never done this successfully, but today I think I'm going to get it done.
Parallel parking on the street is not the time for you to learn how to parallel park. Do that shit on your own street in front of your own house where no one cares.
Exactly.
That's my PSA. All right, what's your second grievance, Todd?
My second grievance is this might be touchy because I think Bob, I think you'll identify with this only a little bit because I don't think I'm too far over the top. So people have their given names and they choose different names.
Like Dave?
So like John's. Well, like John's are shortened to Jack. That's their nickname.
Yeah.
So
but my grievance is in a work environment where you don't have the flexibility to personalize or use your nickname and your email address, then go by the name that your parents gave you, or change your name. Because recently, someone at my job, and I'm not going to share any last names, but his name is Herbert, and so I can see where you like.
There's only gonna be like one or two at the most Herberts in your entire company. I think you just singled this guy.
And I also feel like there was a Herbert brought up at the beginning of the show that might correlate to this Herbert.
I think he knows about Herbert Haber.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but here's the thing.
But
do you know? And
that aside,
do you know what Herbert's preferred name is? Rodney. Rodney. And you know what his middle name is not? Rodney. And I'm like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to remember that? Every time he shows up on one of my meetings, he's Herbert. And so I'm like, Herbert? Oh, it's Rodney. I'm like, it's not fucking Rodney. It's fucking Herbert or Herb or H or what the fuck? So
that's actually kind of funny because I actually know a Rodney that his real name is Herbert as well.
Are you serious?
I swear to God.
That's new to me.
And his
There
middle
needs to
name
be
is
a
not
decoder
Rodney?
sheet then.
You know him too, Bob, from Uncle Ray's. Rodney from Ford Motor Company.
I didn't know his
actual
name was Herbert.
His actual name is Herbert.
I met him under the circumstances of the nickname. I didn't meet him under the circumstances of the given name, which is what Todd's describing.
All I
Right.
think about with
Well, and
Herbert-
like I said, I'm on a meeting and you're like, that guy's, and I get an email from Herbert. I'm like, who the fuck is Herbert? Oh, it's Rodney.
Hey there, muscly arms.
So now I got to remember to decode Herbert to Rodney all the time. I'm annoyed by that.
You don't. That is not a responsibility that you should feel that you have to take on. Does he report to you?
No.
Is he your peer?
He doesn't, but Rodney
No.
does.
Well, who's my peer, really?
Wow.
Fair enough. Could you dress this guy down in a meeting?
Yes.
Okay. So in your position, then, you should send
Assign him a name?
Rodney an email and say, hey, man, from now on, please change your signature to be Herbert and then in parens Rodney. So I'll know who the fuck you are.
Yes, I should do
and
that.
leave
I will
it
do
at
that. Done.
Or you should just start.
But I'm still
calling-
going to bitch about it because
should-
Rodney's not even close to Herbert.
Todd, just start calling him Rodbert. I think that'll solve everything.
There is that sort of passive aggressive behavior where you could just, when you go, oh, Herbert, and he goes, it's Rodney. You go, okay, Herbert. Anyway, move on. You can just refuse to refer to him by that name.
Yeah,
refuse.
I'm sorry. 1 second here. I noticed you had your virtual hand up. Herb, go ahead.
It's Rodney, okay?
And then call him the next meeting. Call him Bert, and then go back to Herbert, and then Herb and Bert. It just starts cycling.
I'm sorry, you
through.
guys. Hold on one question. Bert had a question. Go ahead, sir. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, Todd. I'm wondering if you could stop referring to me by that name.
Okay, I'm sorry. I manage a lot of people. I'm getting very confused. I see the name up. I just that's my go-to always. I apologize if it happens again, which it will.
Well,
Yes.
a good manager does know his people. So
You'll have to keep doing it.
I assume that. Oh,
He's not. He doesn't report to me.
Okay.
It's and again, like I said, I'm a huge proponent of people being called. But again, I hate it when people have a name that it might be potentially difficult to pronounce, and people don't even try, and they call them something short. I'm not for that at all. But in this situation, I don't have a decoder for it because again, I get the Jackson John things. I get the Steve and Steven. I get all that. But I'm like, Herbert to Rodney is a stretch.
Todd, you need to check your phone because I'm assuming Mary is telling you to stop talking about people that you know on the show.
I know. It's a good thing this isn't live. Millennium Falcons and Herbert.
No one's watching this. It doesn't.
Well,
whoever this
not
guy
yet.
is, yeah.
There are so many
We know
Ty
every
girly
one
boys
of
out there.
we know every one of our viewers / listeners by name, and he's not one of them. But I would say, why don't you? Have you ever asked him why do you go by Rodney?
No, because I don't care. It just annoys me that it's not close.
Right, but why not put him on the spot and make him explain it to you so that at least if you're annoyed, you'll know why.
Well, I already know why. Because Rodney isn't close to Herbert.
No. Make him explain why he goes by Rodney.
And here's the funny thing. If his middle name happened to be Rodney, the cool thing is they would let him use that as his email address.
No,
but they
I
don't
get
let you
that.
just pick a name.
Have you ever told Rodney, like, when I
it's
see
Herbert.
you tonight on a downtown train? Have you ever said that to him? You should say that to him. Maybe he'll.
I would make
maybe
him
he'll
tell
pick
you
up
the
on it.
story. Tell me the story. Like, what if he was to say to you, my dad was the victim of an incredibly horrific industrial accident, and his name was Rodney, and in his honor, I go by Rodney, even though my name is not Rodney.
Change your name to Rodney then.
But at least then you could go, that's
It's like
stupid.
$7 at the courthouse.
Refuse.
I'm like, I will write the
Right.
check.
Yes,
Just
give him
change
the
your name to
money. Yes.
Rodney.
Here's $7 for your trouble.
So let me get this straight. And if there's people that are coming in, at the back end of this, the business end, as I like to call it,
Nice.
Are you telling me that his name is Rodney, and on the Zoom call it says Herbert?
On the Teams call, yes, it says Herbert.
And then he gets angry when you refer to him as Herbert.
No, he doesn't get angry, but I sit there going, what happens is this. I'm on a meeting with him, and I'm looking at him, and I see the thing, I'm like, I can't remember what the fuck what I'm supposed to call him, because I know it's not Herbert.
But so why is he, because he had to fill that in. So why did he put that?
No, Zoom sessions take on, in an organization, not like a friendly, like friends getting.
Yeah, this actually pulls from
address.
his AD group. So it pulls his real name.
He has that was what he used to apply for the job when he got hired in.
Okay, so it's like you're talking to Eminem versus Marshall Mathers.
On your W-2, right. Eminem is not going to have Eminem on his fucking W-2. Right. It's going to be Marshall Mathers.
Right.
So you're going to be like, Marshall, you had a question? He's like, I really prefer to be called Eminem. Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But even worse, because at least it starts with an M.
No, it starts
Herbert
with an
and
E.
Rodney.
It starts with an E.
Yeah,
Well, that's just occurring to you right now.
Well, that's never mind.
But close enough. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Phonetically,
That's a great grievance. That might be the King Kamehameha grievance. The airing of grievances.
So we're gonna take a Schnozzcast vote, in favor or not in favor of Todd being perplexed and upset by the fact that this guy has one name posted and gets slightly perturbed when you call him another name. I'm gonna say I'm in vote for Todd, because that's ridiculous. If that bothered you enough, then you need to do something to mitigate and change that.
Agree or disagree with the grievance?
Correct.
Oh, okay. That's a great idea. We should actually do it. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I agree with the grievance.
I agree with it.
Completely valid.
I'll agree on this one.
There's no way that you can have any kind of firm ground to stand on when don't call me that. You told no, it's right there. That's your name. If you don't want it to be your name, then go through all the motions and do whatever you got to do on the Zoom end of the business end, because I don't know. I've
Yeah.
never been on a business call.
Otherwise, you could do anything. Cory could get on a Zoom session and go, no, you want me to call me Michelle.
Ooh,
There's no reason.
I'm going to start that.
Don't,
and then to be anarchy?
we
No,
can't.
you can't. You have to draw the line somewhere.
We can't bring Cory into this, because then you got the Jeffrey Lebowski thing, and then
Yeah, you got to start calling me the dude.
No one's gonna call you that.
That's what
It's TT.
or Duder, if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
So if I go and legally get my name changed,
I still won't call you that.
well, what the fuck's the point?
I'll still call you TT.
Oh, thanks, Todd.
That's
what I was looking for.
That should
actually
be your
love that.
grievance for next week. People giving you nicknames that you didn't want.
I actually love. Todd,
Yeah, I'm on Rodney's side.
I'm sorry.
Todd, let me tell you that. I'm sorry. My brain is shattered by the fact that someone would bang their hand on a table with two boom mics. So my thing is that I underappreciate. I feel like in the past I've underappreciated Taoist Taurus, and I just want you to know that I absolutely fucking love it. There's probably nothing more that I love than that. It's so ingenious that I'm kind of taken aback every time you say it. And I can't laugh, but when I think
one of us, I guess, right, Cory?
when I honestly, I swear to God, I'm not fucking blowing smoke up your ass. Like when I actually think about it, I'm like, I like this a lot. Like I feel like there should be shirts made.
If you don't think that TT is going to be on the sleeve, on the back or on the sleeve of the shirt that for the Schnozzcast that we're getting made, you were 100%.
Todd, we're losing you, buddy. Sorry.
I don't know, Todd. This shirt yarn has been a long and dangerous road that we've been talking about this, so we'll see.
We'll make it happen.
All right.
Believe it or not, Rodney also makes T-shirts.
He's got his own T-shirt company.
Don't call me Rodney.
It's not Rodney's T-shirts.
It's called Jeff's T-shirts.
Yep. Well played, sir. Cory, we're gonna give this a try. The return of little 90-second sports.
And we see him heading in that direction. The 20. He's going for 40. And it's 90-second sports.
90-second sports, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while. It's surprising that I do the audio for the intro of 90-second sports, and I hate sports. If you hate me for that, I'm
That's
okay
the
with that.
delicious irony of it all.
You love sports.
I've grown up my whole life being hated for that, so I'm okay with it.
But he's good at sport.
No one hates you, buddy.
Oh, dude,
We're
what if I was-
befuddled, but
what
we
if I
don't
was-
hate you.
What if I was amazing at sports and I just never knew? I never knew because I hated it so much.
It's usually how it goes.
Yeah, that is how it goes.
Thanks. I like to think so. So for 90 second
As
sports,
long as you think so.
for 90 second sports, we're going to pass it off to Cory and Bob with the approval of Mr. Todd Dillon. Who's going first? Who's talking first? You, Bob?
We don't know how this is going to go. In fact,
Okay.
if it sucks that bad, we'll just cut it out.
I'm going to give you a 10-second head start and say 90
No, we
seconds.
don't. No, we're better.
Whoa,
off to-
whoa.
Because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Fine, never
Okay.
mind.
Clearly.
Never mind. 90 second sports starts now.
Hey, so this weekend, big NHL weekend. Yeah, yesterday was the skills competition for NHL, and then today was the All-Star game, 3:00. I'm going to start with the skills competition just because clearly, like I didn't.
You're going to run out of time.
I didn't have time to. None of your back talk, none of your sass, Todd Dillon. I didn't have time to watch the All-Star game today at 3, although I did record it, so that'll be what I'll be doing tomorrow while I'm recovering from the podcast in general. But skills competition, did you watch any of it yesterday, Cory?
I saw a couple highlights here and there. I definitely saw Larkin's goal.
Okay.
I would say now infamous move. I didn't think it was that great, but
Which competition was
With the
this?
puck, with the puck sticking to his stick, looked like it was glued to his stick.
no, not that one. There
And
was
he's
another
he
one
was
they kept on
blindfolded?
playing. No, he did like a
mind.
phantom wave over the puck, and it was terrible. But that's for some reason the one they keep playing.
Was it the breakaway challenge?
Yeah, the shootout challenge. Yeah.
Okay. Did you see the one where the guy was dressed up like the dodgeball character, and people were like, they had a bunch of mascots coming out throwing dodgeballs at him while he was blindfolded?
I did not. But dude, that's an Ovechkin. Ovechkin started that with the whole bringing out costumes, and
I know he did.
so that's kind of to me that's not. It's not original.
And that's 90 second sports.
Is that it? Seriously?
Thank you so much.
See,
ladies and gentlemen.
it's much harder than it appears, isn't it, bitches?
That is. But that's actually great news for me because I'm
In
like,
the
there's no
hot
way
seat.
we could fill 90 seconds.
In the hot seat.
And we did it.
Oh,
Cory.
wait. And next week I do have 90 second sports because you know what? The Olympics is on.
No.
Well, hold on.
You didn't want to do it for a long time.
I'm back, baby.
I'm excited for the return.
I'm
but
back, baby.
Hold on. We need to. We're gonna have a midweek production meeting this week.
Yes, sir.
Because I still don't know what the changes are to the format of the segment.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
easy peasy.
You know what the changes are?
We don't have to go through it here. We could just.
Todd's not doing the segment. That's the change.
No, he
Oh,
just.
come, no.
He's
It's the
returning.
Winter Olympics, and it's the Winter Olympics. I was torn between 90 second sports this week or an grievance about the Winter Olympics, but again, it's the Winter Olympics.
This
Okay.
is Todd's sweet spot. Is the Olympics? He did
Indeed.
have that run of
And-
many weeks.
So you understand that 90 second sports literally has been every now and then hockey, a lot of horse racing,
a ton of horse racing.
and the Olympics. That has been 90 second sports for a year.
And kickers. And
a year.
kickers.
There was cricket in there too, I believe.
There was cricket.
yeah.
There was. Yeah.
All the people that
I'm
like
proud of that history.
all
that
the
you just
people
described.
all the people that legitimately like sports are like, you motherfuckers never talk about actual sports.
Well, that's been kind of the.
Well, wait till I bring Kabuti to the table.
There was NASCAR too.
That's true.
Yes, there was NASCAR.
That was a long time ago.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still on the still on the fence if I think NASCAR's a sport. I'm sorry. I feel like
There's a lot of rednecks who would disagree with you.
no, I understand that, and I feel
I don't
It's a
say-
sport.
I don't think they're athletes. I will say it's a sport though.
It's a sport.
That's in the way that
and
bowling is a sport.
Right.
not for nothing. I think that's a different kind of athletics. I mean, ultimately, that people who say the same thing about golf, right? But I think
No,
it is
golf is
definitely
a
a sport.
I mean,
golf
the
is pretty
NASCAR,
labor intensive. I understand that NASCAR, you're driving. I get it.
You and
It's-
I couldn't do it, which
Well-
kind of makes it a sport.
Sure,
You can bet on
you
it.
probably couldn't do it. But yeah,
Yeah,
no,
you could drive at that level of
this is really a different conversation, Bob. But what
Having
I'm-
having been through the NASCAR
the guy who hates
experience,
sports altogether is now giving me shit about.
He's
being
got an
better
opinion
at
on
NASCAR.
sports.
No, I
Gotcha.
think it's its own thing. I think between NASCAR, open wheel racing, and a lot of stuff like involving vehicles, I think it should be its own thing. I mean, there's I don't know. I feel sports is more of a point keeping competition kind of thing, and racing cars is just, in my book personally, the book of no sports, is just not the same. I feel like that they deserve a lot of credit and they should have their own category, but I don't feel it's a sport like what you said, to piggyback off that it's not athleticism. I mean, it's
potential title.
There is a physical toll that those drivers go through that they have to be in shape to do.
No doubt, but there's also a physical toll, in a lot of different scenarios and jobs and things like that. Firefighters, there's a physical toll, but there's.
Do you bet on firefighters?
What's that?
Do we bet on firefighters?
I mean, I could bet on
Does
what Cory's
Vegas
going
make
to
money
wear
off
today.
them?
That doesn't mean it's a sport.
Todd, I know a group of people. If we go to downtown Detroit, you can bet on fires.
Boom! But you can't bet on firemen.
Knows a lot of
But you can't bet on firemen.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh no, you can. They're side bets, but it's the main bet is usually if the building stays up or comes down. But
yeah, my 2 cents is not to belittle; it's to elevate. And I'm saying they should have their own category. I'm not saying that it's any less of or anything else. As anything else, I feel like there's more respect I have. It's super dangerous, not to say that there aren't a lot of sports that, people get close head injuries and all that other shit that are equally as dangerous. But I just, in my mind, personal opinion, it's not a sport that I feel like, but this is from the guy that knows nothing about sports.
Exactly. Anything that's a competition that you can bet on, I think almost neatly fits into that.
Okay, so like snail racing.
That's a great, if you can go to Vegas and you could bet on it, it's probably a sport.
Okay.
That's why you do it at the sports book.
In Vegas that I can bet on that's not a sport.
I mean, that's one yardstick to use. I'm not sure it's the best yardstick, but
yeah, I wouldn't say it's
you bet on at the sports book. So snail racing
right.
until it...
That's true. That's a great point. And then the other comment I have before we end all this, because I'm almost getting sick with myself, but
I want this to keep going.
No,
I'm not sure why you want it to stop.
Is how big? I mean,
it's big.
No, how big has fantasy sports gotten in like the past 20 years? Because I feel like it went from nothing to everything.
It went from underground once the internet and caught up with online gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took off.
It's a moneymaker.
It's so huge. It's such a big thing.
It's a huge moneymaker.
I mean, Todd's really the one to Cory, I'm sure you've done fantasy before.
Yeah, I've dabbled in it.
I feel like between of the four of us, Todd's probably the one who's put the most money into fantasy teams.
When I lived in the Novi house, I was forced to play fantasy.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Well, and another friend we have in common, Mr. Tony Martinez.
Oh God.
I mean, dude,
AKA Herbert.
Holy crap, dude.
Wait,
oh my God.
Are you saying AKA Herbert?
Herbert Hebert. So
Tony.
I'll tell you a very very short story for Nick. But
Nick.
I went to a Tigers game one time with Tony, and I went with Zeke, I think. It might have been separate times, but I know I went with Tony one time. And I'm okay like going to a sporting event because I don't have to pay attention. I'm going to drink beer, I'm going to eat some food, and I'm going to be with my friends. So that's a good time for me.
But you know that all your friends are paying attention to the event that you went to.
But they're just so excited that I'm there, like that I'm willing to put up with it because they know I hate sports. So I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with it. I'm having beers.
Good point.
So he looks over at me and he goes, who do you got your money on? And I'm like, for what? And he's like,
I feel like that was rhetorical. I'm sure he wasn't actually asking.
Oh, he was. And
no, he wasn't.
This is Tony. And he goes, we're going to, bet on however many hits these batters get or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm not interested in that. And he's like, no, it's just for fun. We're gonna put like $5 down on it. I'm like, no, we're not. And he's like, well, we do this at every game I go to. I'm like, well, we don't do this at every game because I don't go to games with you. I'm like, but you guys, go ahead. And he fucking lost his mind. He was like, I don't understand why this is such a big deal. Why you can't just bet on. I said, first of all, if you want to look at this logically, I know absolutely nothing about this game. So chances are you're going to win my money because I don't know any. He's like, well, you could just take a stab in the dark and just pick any player. I said, I don't fucking want to do it. And he was like almost wouldn't talk to me for the rest of the game. He was so
That's
mad.
exactly how we felt when we were trying to get him to
play up north?
euchre up north. Exactly how.
People get so butthurt, like really mad. I'm not stopping anything you want to do. You want to go on the field? You want to paint your chest? You want to paint your face? You want to dance around your underwear out on the field? Great, go fucking do it. But don't tell me that I have to get involved, otherwise you're going to get mad.
I think that the sentiment behind it generally is, and Todd, you can back me up here, the sentiment generally is they know that you're not, you don't follow baseball, right? You don't follow the Tigers, you don't follow baseball in general. I'm sure you have some general idea of, batters to fielders, singles versus doubles versus triples.
No.
Okay, well.
No, I don't.
All right, well, but getting you to just throw out a number would then lead to conversations about, well, like, here's what happens and here's what you should look for there so you can follow, like, are you going to win, are you not? We're all your friends. We're not going to lie to you and go, like, you lost when you actually won. But it's a way to kind of bring you into what they feel passionate about.
But he's not interested.
I know he's not interested, but they're trying to find.
So why are you forcing it on him?
They're trying to find a way as a friend to include him.
Imagine you can't be a friend, and so there's an easy way to do it. What I would have done is said, "Hey, do me a favor. I'm not asking for any money, Nick. I want you to close your eyes, and I'm going to give you this program. And I want you to frickin' stick your finger on the page, and whatever batter you put your fingers next closest to, that's the dude you got." And if he gets more hits, you win the money.
He's already said, I will say no. You're forcing me to stick my finger on a page and pick somebody.
That's not true. Because not only does Tony's two passions are sports and gambling.
Yep.
So he wanted
Tony.
He wanted me to throw money down on something I know nothing about statistically.
Yep.
And to me, that made 0 sense logically. So
I'm
like,
I would have covered the bet.
No. I'm like, no. How about we do this for no money? He's like, well, for no money, it's no fun. I'm like, well, I'm not going to, I know nothing about this. You know exactly who, all the RBIs and all this shit that I know nothing about.
Agreed.
So
he should have let you pick for him.
Exactly.
That would have been even better.
If it were a true friend moment where you just loved sports and you wanted to maybe get me involved somehow, it would have been, we're not playing for any money. Let's just all pick a name.
Yep.
And I would have been like,
I agree with that.
Fine, sure,
Well, but also knowing Tony, that was not going to happen.
No, he was very angry.
But there's an easier way to get him to do it. I think that's the funny thing. I'm like, I could instantaneously. Nick just said he would have done it my way if I'd have said that. Because I'd still done it for money with other people. I just put your money in for you.
Exactly.
And if you want, I'd give you the money.
Exactly.
Yeah. If it comes down to you're not comfortable in betting your own money on something you don't understand, then you just remove the money from the equation.
Is that far fetched?
No, it's not. No, not at all. No,
I
didn't know there was in your original example with Tony. I didn't know there was money on.
Yeah.
On
the
line.
If you had said, "Hey Nick, let's watch Star Wars. Let's all put $10 down, and
we'll just bet which one of these characters is going to be Luke's father."
No, let's bet closest without going over how many times they say the word force. And I'd be like, no, I've never seen this, and you know it verbatim. Like, well, that doesn't make any sense for me to bet on.
Right, but if it's totally random, like there's no way I could predict the outcome because I've not seen this game before. Let's do it just for fun.
But I would assume that people that are in love with fantasy sports, statistics, and have season tickets to the Tigers for their entire life, that you could probably take a very educated guess on who's going to get the most fucking hits or the most runs or whatever it may be. I mean, so I feel like I was at a big disadvantage, and so I wasn't making a stink about it. I was just like, I'm just don't want to do it.
Not interested.
It doesn't make any sense.
I'm well familiar with your response in that way. As a friend of yours, I would say, maybe I could speak for all of your friends and just say,
probably not.
I just want to get you involved so that we have something in common in that area.
Sure.
I don't care if there's money on the line. I don't care. You got to help me to figure out how I can bring you in. And
I think you hit the nail on the head with that. Had there been
what would make you interested in this game that we're watching?
If it was
And maybe learn a little bit about baseball on the way.
A genuine way where it was like, hey, money's not, it has nothing to do with this.
Right.
Just pick a name. I would have been like, sure.
Yep. Exactly.
It wasn't even about, what if it was $5?
And it would be fun still.
It's not going to fucking break my bank. But
Okay.
I don't feel comfortable betting on something I know nothing about.
Okay.
Especially against somebody who knows everything about the thing.
Everything about it, yeah.
To that, I would say, euchre didn't involve any money.
So
No, it did not.
What Bob is referring to is we went up to my cabin in the middle of the woods, in the middle of 40 acres, 45 minutes from civilization. We went up there with every intention to drink and take in the wilderness and the great outdoors. And we get there and it's raining, and Bob's like, hey, we should sit down and play euchre. And I'm like, no, I don't. I've never played euchre, which all the fucking looky-loos and haters that already hate me, so you guys got another reason to fucking hate me because I don't like sports, I don't like euchre. And I'm from Michigan, so that's fine. I'm okay with it. But I was like,
Black people don't know euchre either.
I want to drink. I want to listen to good music, and I want to drink. Well, we want to sit down inside and play a card game. I'm like, go ahead.
Yep.
Well, we need 4 people, and we only have 3. I'm like, well, that's not my fucking problem. Play fucking solitaire. I don't want to play. Why can't you just sit down and learn this game? Because I don't want to fucking learn a game. I came up to go on vacation.
So there was no money at stake there. So my question, taking the example of how do I bring you
Reel me in.
that? How do I reel you in?
How do you reel me in? You reel me in when we're not on vacation and you say, hey, this is important to me. I would love for us all to get involved with this. So next time we go on vacation, this is something we can all do together. And, and if you absolutely hate it, I'll never make you do it again. But could you at least try for me as a friend? And I would be like, yes, 100%.
Yeah. And actually, can I interject there too? Because again, what did you guys ride together to the cabin?
Yes.
I see where you're going with this.
Yes, I would have been prepping you the whole way. Here's how this game works. We're probably going to get to this. There's
honestly,
Bowers, and the left is the opposite suit of the thing that's called Trump. I mean, ultimately, you guys are freaking. Nick, I think that I've got you figured out. I think I could bring you on.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm not a password protected book.
Honestly,
like,
I don't think we settled on euchre until 5 minutes before we pulled the deck of cards out.
Yeah, but anybody who's ever played euchre, as soon as you roll into somebody's cabin and it turns dark and you're drinking, somebody's gonna go, "Hey, double deck, do deck." Euchre?
But
whatever. That's what's going to happen.
None of us could have imagined the response that we got from Nick. I certainly didn't. So
I saw it coming.
Did you?
Oh yeah, Cory knows me.
So now that I understand what
that's
so the question now is like, how do I reel? So this is good intel, friend to friend. Like, yeah, how do I? I'd really love you to just take a shot.
You have
if you hate it, that's fine.
You have to understand my mindset. Like, yeah, I may not be into sports, but hunting is sports of its own. Fishing, being an angler, doing all these things. That's my side of things. That's my family was never into. My dad may have gotten into sports like later in life, but my whole family were naturalists, the great outdoors, fishing, hunting, going to Alaska, going all over Michigan, every fucking square foot, and doing all this kind of stuff outside. So my vision of my cabin and being in the great outdoors is to be in the great outdoors. I get the fact that it was cold and it was like rainy.
It was raining pretty bad when we got there.
But I don't care. I'll sit in the shed. I'll sit.
Did not care.
To me, that's my vacation. Like, I want to be outside. Not to mention, my grandpa's passed. That's a place, Cory, you can understand being in Oscoda.
I get it.
That it reminds me of him. And the last thing that I can think of is sitting inside and playing cards. And so I wanted to be in the moment. I wanted to enjoy my vacation.
What if you learned that euchre was your grandpa's favorite game?
Well, if I never learned that over, almost 40 years of my life and, 33 years of knowing him and being alive with him, then shame on me.
You hated sports? He's like, I'm not even going to mention it.
No, that's not my grandpa. But yeah, so there's a time and a place. I'm not opposed to it. I would absolutely sit down with you guys under different circumstances. But at that time, I'm on vacation. I'm like, nah, my mind is, I'm shut down. I'm not in a learning.
I don't want to learn a new thing right now. Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm with Nick. It's like, it's literally, if I, in a similar, I love to gamble. I love cards. But if I went up north and then someone says, hey, let's play bridge. And I'm like, I don't know how to play bridge. Well, I'll teach you. And I'm like, yeah, fuck that. I'm here to drink. I would be the same way for that. I think, Nick, you should have dragged, as soon as they freaking tried to foist euchre on you, you should have said, let's reload shotgun shells and tie flies for fly fishing.
and what ended up happening is, not something he was opposed to. This is actually something Bob always wanted to do, but I knew he had never shot a gun. And so we took him outside and we showed him how to do that. And he had a great time.
You never shot a gun, Bob?
That was something he wanted to do.
That's not true. We had gone to the range before.
Shotgun.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
To be specific. And so we went outside and we did that, and he was actually pretty fucking good. He's pretty fucking good.
I feel like I failed, Bob. We should go shooting, Bob.
Once he learned what he was, he was kind of all over the place, and I was like, listen,
Todd, you were busy trying to make sure that I had a good job and could support my family. So I give you a pass. I give you a pass, my friend.
He was all over the place, and he's like, kind of like throwing in the towel, and I'm like, listen, if you're up to the left, let's go down to the right. Let's figure this out. And all of a sudden, he just got it, and he was like, that was kind of fun. I'm like, yeah.
I think it's when the weed kicked in.
We had. I don't think we had weed up there.
No, not up there.
No, we didn't. Nope.
All right.
Yeah.
What did you have?
Substitute weed for whiskey, then I guess.
There you go.
I don't think we were drinking whiskey either.
Oh, Fireball.
Well,
lots of it.
That's not whiskey. But regardless, that's the reasoning behind it. So
I'm with you. I vote for Nick.
Thank you, Todd. That rarely ever happens, and it probably won't ever happen again, but thank you.
Write that
It's the
down.
kombucha talking.
Todd voted with
Drink enough vinegar, you act crazy.
Mark this day on the calendar. All right, let's get into a little gentleman's agreement, guys.
Oh, it's the MF and gentleman's agreement. Oh, done.
You still good with me? You still good with me using that drop?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a little bit of like, oh Jesus.
No,
From that side of the table, whatever.
No,
I
I'm
do.
okay with it. The fact that it was not prepared to be used all the time,
Yeah.
makes it great. So
It does, and it's actually made me lazy in actually doing it because I was the one who said I was going to do it.
I'm okay if we continue to use it. If Todd creates some kind of musical genius idea, I'm okay with that too.
Maybe he's got a little inspiration today from all the Michael Jackson talk.
Word.
Don't touch my shoulder, because my shoulder hurts really bad.
All right,
You'll have to listen to it.
before we jump into this, we got a shot here. So if you are out there and don't have anything to drink, grab something real quick. Join us if you will, if you must, if you can.
If you must. That's what we want people to do.
Well,
Can't control any of these people. I mean, the fact that there are people, that's really
Why do you
important
keep
thing.
bringing up the people? Stop talking about the people, Bob.
All right.
cheers.
Cheers to you.
Oh, yeah.
Shazam!
Goes down like smooth silk.
Cory,
Yes.
you had Charlie Wilson's War, I think, from Krabby.
I did. First of all, I was kind of expecting like a 1960s, war kind of film. So was very surprised when I brought it up, and it was star-studded cast of Tom Hanks, Julia Roberts, Philip Seymour Hoffman. There was a couple other people in there, but those were the main three in the cast. And let me say, the opening scene was something it really set the tone for the movie.
Okay.
And so this was back in the 80s, and Tom Hanks is playing Congressman Charlie Wilson. And I will say this was back when a congressman could be just that, a congressman who enjoys cocaine, hanging out in jacuzzis in Las Vegas with hookers and blow. And
Oh, the good old days.
Exactly. Had an entire staff of slutty secretaries, and God bless America.
Make America great again, as Krabby would say.
Dude, it was a great flick, and it's based on a true story of Congressman Charlie Wilson from Texas that basically started his own own little soapbox of trying to help the Mujahideen fight the Soviets in the late 80s. And he went, yes, thank you. He went from a $5 million budget that he was given in order to start this project. And by the time they were done, it was at, the government was giving in like something like $500 million, and it was being matched by a private sector. So you're looking at $1 billion that they were giving to the Mujahideen over in Afghanistan. Now, the one part that kind of really struck me about it, that I'm like, well, this clearly ties into when, because the Mujahideen eventually became the Taliban, and we all know how that story goes. But a lot of people say that Charlie Wilson, with the money that he gave the Mujahideen in Afghanistan, basically created and started what would become known as the Taliban. And due to that money and training and weapons that they were given, that's why we saw the attacks on 9/11. Now, there's no actual, and there's no real proof and correlation to what Charlie Wilson did actually starting that, but a lot of people say that that's exactly what started it, and that's how, how they were able to kind of get their foot in the door with training and things of that nature. So that theory is always kind of out there still, that that's what he caused. Other people look at it like he did a great thing and liberated those people from the Soviets. So it's kind of left up in the air to what every person's interpretation is and what they believe in and what happened with that. But great film. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. Charlie Wilson's War.
All right.
Nice. Thank you, sir.
Nice.
Todd, Dylan, you had...
Yes, sir.
In my records, you have The Platform and you have Peaky Blinders.
Yes. I had them both.
So let's start with The Platform.
The Platform. So 30-second synopsis. It's a movie about... I think it's society in general. It's a I don't even know. It's a dystopian. I don't even know how to describe it. But basically, the movie is about a guy volunteers basically to go to jail, an odd jail, for 6 months so that he can read Don Quixote. He wants to get out of the rat race, and so he basically volunteers to commit himself to this prison so that he can have 6 months to just kick back and read and not be distracted by anything else, because he's got 6 months where he can't do anything else. And it turns into the worst nightmare ever, because this isn't a normal prison, and basically the platform is this truly it's like a table, if you will, where food is served on this platform every day. And so you get one chance to eat every day. And on the higher floors, and by the way, there's this staff of people preparing these fabulous gourmet meals. Think like Gordon Ramsay style. And everybody who gets checked into this prison, they actually put what's your favorite meal? And you say steak and lobster. That will be on the menu every day. The problem is there's like a rotation where you go to different levels, and essentially people at the top, they get the first shot at all this food, and as it goes to the bottom, there's less and less and less. So even though you picked your steak and lobster, if you're on the lower floors, basically, it's never going to make it to you. And there's a lot of mayhem. I don't want to do any spoilers. It actually is. It's if you really break it down, I mean, it is kind of the haves and the have-nots, and it is very, very cutthroat. Like literally, there's some blood and some gore. A dog gets killed and eaten. Yeah, I would say this. I give it, Nick. I'm giving it a solid B. And the reason that I didn't give it an A, because I was like hooked from beginning to the end. Sucked. The very end.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was anticlimactic. I mean,
yes.
I mean, it was with as much thought that went into this despicably dark film, you would think that the end would have this huge climax that you'd be like, yes, that's what I was waiting for.
Yes.
And it just didn't. And I don't know how purposeful that was. If it was just another way of them just taking a jab at you and saying, ha ha, ha, fuck you. Like,
yeah,
this is the end.
Because I'm like, I'm like, no way. I'm like, so is that, it is what it is. Is that the thing that I'm supposed to take away? The world is really, really, really unfair. And wow. Yeah, but solid B. I would recommend this to, in fact, I already have recommended it to people to watch. And I'm like, and again, without giving a spoiler alert, I'm like, at the end, you're going to be really mad.
I mean,
did you recommend it to Herbert/Rodney?
I did not.
I just think it's something I stumbled upon that I would not, like, had you probably read me the description of the movie, I wouldn't have watched it. And,
I would wouldn't have done it. Even if I'd been passing by it on Netflix and saw even the 5-minute trailer, I'm like, nope, not for me.
No, but it was so fucked up. Like, it was almost like Human Centipede, where you end up watching it and you're like, what the fuck did I just watch? You know?
I remember I was very, very pissed about the end too. That was one of my assignments as well, Todd. And I remember the end came, and I literally just remember staring at the screen, going, "What the fuck?
What just happened? What just fucking happened?"
Yeah, I was. It wrote me in, and it got me on board until the very end. Then I jumped off.
Oh,
well,
Cory,
and I think the funnier thing is,
sorry, Todd, just to jump in real quick. Wasn't it the platform, and then in parentheses El Hoyo?
I don't remember that.
I don't recall that.
Is there not there underneath like a Spanish name?
Well, it's so that was what the comment I was going to make. It's obviously a foreign film because they've dubbed English over. Because Mary walked by and she's like, "How come the lips don't match that?" And I go, "It's funny you say that, Mary." At the very beginning, I was like, "Oh boy, here we go." And then, but you get so drawn in, and then like your mind starts working, and you're actually figuring out what message is coming across. And so So I could believe that it would have some sort of alternate title, but I didn't.
No,
catch
yeah.
that.
So apparently it looks, and I'm not delving into it too deep, but it looks like originally it was probably in Spanish because it was called El Hoyo.
It was back in October of 2020 that Cory had to watch it, and for whatever reason, it was said with enough conviction where I'm like, oh, I need to put that in the title.
I literally typed in.
So I did.
I literally typed in El Hoyo, and the platform movie showed up.
Perfect.
So it must have been originally in Spanish, but it was fucked. I mean, it was fucked up.
Yes, but
every now and then
it's a microcosm of society.
Yeah, absolutely. There's deeper meanings beyond what you're just watching in the movie. You know,
absolutely, and especially like the old dude who knows the game. Then it's like, holy cow! Solid B, solid movie. Highly recommend it.
Glad you liked it because I don't think Cory liked it. I don't think.
No, I said it wrote me in. It got my attention.
I don't think you gave it a B. I certainly
I think I hated it just because of the ending.
But that's you. I mean, and that's why it's important. You know, different strokes, different folks. You know, like to say like that. I think, and it wasn't something that I was just. Sitting there just racking my brain all week about like, oh, maybe Todd's going to like this or not. But I do know that I feel that someone else needs this kind of stumble on a circumstance with this movie. And I stumbled upon it with like going in blind, knowing nothing. And I watched the whole thing and I absolutely concur that the ending sucked. But it's one of those things that up until that point, it was almost like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of feel. Like it's so fucked up.
Oh yeah,
but it's deep. It's deep. It has all these different meanings and undertones. So it was interesting. Like it was something that I wouldn't be like, I don't regret seeing it, but I'm not going to be like, it's a Friday night and I got nothing to do. I'm going to watch the platform. Like it's never anything that I'm going to do. But
Yeah,
certainly I'm glad I watched it for sure.
Yep, same here. Same here.
All right, Todd. So let's.
And my number two.
Let's see if I could do better than a B. You gave it a B, the platform.
I did. I gave it a solid B.
All right, let's see if I can do better than B. I assigned you Peaky Blinders.
Yep.
But I also signed
and
No, you didn't.
I did.
No,
Peaky
you
Blind.
didn't. Go ahead, Todd.
I'll wait till you guys finish your spat.
No, I'm sorry. Bob's 100% right. I never assigned it to him. I've told him about a million times, but he told me he had too much on his plate and he wouldn't watch it. So, anyhow.
Anyway, go ahead.
Got it. So 30-second synopsis. I've only watched the first 2 episodes, and mainly because I had the other show to watch because of my own lack
Ineptitude
of ability
is the
to
word you're looking for.
Yeah, being inept. Yes, that's it. Ineptitude. So I did it to myself. So I only watched 2 episodes, but I will absolutely be following up. In fact, tonight I likely will be turning it back on again. It is based in early 1900s England. And Peaky Blinders is a gang, if you will, of Irishmen living in England. Like I said, early 1900s. Their bookmaking shop and living in a town full of debauchery, and they send a lawman in to regulate because there's a theft that's very important to Winston Churchill that needs to get sorted out. So that's how far I am along. I give it a solid B. The only reason I'm knocking it is, and I don't know if I'll get more used to it, is there's a lot of dialogue, and the accents are fairly thick, and so I found myself rewinding and not catching little bits. And so I think that's my only real knock on it so far is there's a lot going on, and you need to be kind of in tune. And sometimes the accents, like I don't know what he or she said, or I don't understand exactly what they mean by what they said. Right. So they're being very classic in their delivery, which I think probably for true critics is really, really solid. It's solid for people who don't listen to that early 19th century Irish accent every day. It's like, oh, this is really hard, and I don't understand it. But solid B, absolutely worth watching, and I'm already hooked 2 episodes in.
So I'll say this to your defense, Bob.
Yeah.
You're 100%. I was just thinking about it. I'm like racking my brain. I'm like, I know we've talked about this, but I've seen like 1 episode of Peaky Blinders. I did not give that to you. I didn't recommend it to you. I gave you Sneaky Pete.
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking of. So no.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was going to. I was going to say that I watched that just so that I kept my string of watching the wrong thing going.
So
that was the joke I was going to sit and make.
You gave me Peaky Blinders, and I watched the documentary about Chuck E. Cheese.
Exactly.
Yeah, Sneaky Pete, you gave me. It was also on my list to watch for a long time, but you kind of goosed me into
I
like
didn't watch
get
Peaky Blinders.
fucking started, and I did. I watched the whole thing, whole series.
I loved it.
Peaky Blinders. Just to piggyback on this, Todd, Peaky Blinders is a classic British series. I mean, there's only 6 episodes per season, unlike the 20 or 13 to 20 episodes that the Americans do. That pisses off the world. But the BBC, the Brits do 6 episodes per season, and they're like 48, 50 minutes per episode. So you can get through a season in a couple of days, depending upon your schedule.
Yep.
I will say, so there's 5 seasons, I guess, and the 6th is coming before the end of this year. The final season is coming. So, having gone through 4 of the 5, I could tell you that I turned on the closed captioning because I kind of learned to watch their faces while they're talking, unless I couldn't figure it out, and then I could just look down at the bottom of the screen and read the captions.
Yeah,
because there are like there's only a handful of episodes that I actually finally that I figured I got through without having to look at what they said, but it can be thick from time to time, the accent, and not only that, but the more you watch the show, the more I want to know what they're talking about. I want to know whose name they're dropping, what particular turn of phrase that they're using in the Gypsy Irish dialect from the time.
Whoa, Gypsy.
And this is it's based on a true story. There was an actual gang of Peaky Blinders.
I take offense to the word gypsy.
They were self-proclaimed.
They were gypsies.
I
Yeah, they were
know,
gypsies.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, you can't deny your heritage. So, I love the show. Hopefully, you'll stick with it. But
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm hooked. Like I said, my only, again, same thing. My reason for the doc, and once I turn on the things, it's the subtitles. I'm hooked. I'm intrigued by it. I love how smart Tommy is. Yeah, I'm intrigued.
I could tell you that. Sorry, man. Just the last thing I'll say. Once you see the credits and you see Tom Hardy's name, he makes the fucking show. Alfie Solomons as a character in the show is every reason to tune into that whole series.
I just want to say, like, isn't it amazing how something seemingly is in English is so thick into the Irish like undertones that you have to have subtitles, because it's like, what the fuck are they saying? You know,
Well,
it's almost like Cockney British.
Yeah,
you know?
but just in the same way, like I'm sure you've watched series or movies where there's a thick accent, but it depends on the character. There are some characters in Peaky Blinders, like Tommy, who are generally pretty, you can gather most of what they're saying.
Sure.
But
based on context.
His brother, Arthur, it's a much thicker brogue that he used, and it's the way that his voice has a particular, like a growl to it or a snarl. It makes it harder to understand what he's saying. And I'm sure it's more authentic, and I get it, and I'm all on board with it, but there's a point where I'm sure it was probably before the end of the first season where I'm like, okay, just give up. I know you're very proudly trying to say that I got through a whole episode of Peaky Blinders without having to look at the closed captioning, but you don't have to cross
Badger
that off
yourself.
Yeah, you
really.
don't need that badge of honor. It's probably better to understand what they're saying, so just fucking turn it on and look at the faces and watch them, and if you ever get to that point, then you can look at the bottom of the screen, and that's just what I did.
Well, it's almost, like with the Irish, kind of Celtic mixture of dialect, like with our music when we used to go on break, and we had different people speaking different dialects and different things that we purchased in regards to talking about the Schnozzcast and things like that. The one Irish guy talks about, I kind of gave some artistic license, like, okay, this is what we want you to say. Say it in your own way, because you're from Ireland, and basically what he was trying to say is like, what my father used to say was this. And he's like, just like me old dad used to say, and it was like,
Right.
me old dad, and it was like spelled out like with a J and all this other stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? But I mean, obviously that you could discern and figure out, but there's so many things that are subcontext from certain words that just keep going down with a clause and a clause and a clause, that it's very, very difficult without subtitles to figure out what the fuck they're saying.
Yeah, and it's a point of pride. I'm like, I want to make it through that. I haven't looked at those, and at some point you have to throw in the towel. I can't do it.
I mean,
Well,
you're
like I said,
not
I didn't. I was going to say, and I've spent a little bit of time in Ireland, so I thought I was going to do really good. But it was like, there's a lot of content. There's a lot going on in the show. I think it's great. I'm excited, and I will turn on. I like Bob's suggestion. Turn on the subtitles. I probably won't pay attention until it'll stop me from rewinding.
You have to.
But I mean, I think that's
exactly.
I think it's amazing. Like, I want, before I want to understand, I would like a level of authenticity. I don't want you to kind of baby-proof the house for me,
Right.
so I can watch it. I want you to say it so where I have to discover it on my own. Like, hold on, let me pause this for a second. What the fuck is Dad Joe? What the fuck does this mean? Let me look this up. Oh, okay, continue. That's kind of, for me, that's what I want, because I want it to be natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah. While you got the floor, sir, you had to watch Men of Honor from Todd, right?
I did.
TV, yep.
Oh, dude.
Little Cuba Gooding Jr.
It was amazing. It was an awesome movie. I don't dance around the trends in regards to, I'm going to give it an A, I'm going to give it a B, I'm going to do a 30-second synopsis, I'm going to do this. But, if I like a movie, I like it, and that's the way it's going to go. I want someone watch it on their own and kind of come up with their own kind of theories and how the movie's going to go on. But I certainly understood why Todd gave it to me, like when I started watching it immediately. But man, I completely understand why you gave it to me. Kind of, mostly because I understood why you gave me the stupid ass Christmas movie, whatever the fuck.
Jingle Jangle.
Jingle Jangle.
I'm gonna sugarcoat it. No, but no, dude, it was a lot of the movies you give me, and I think with intentful purpose, you give me these movies, and I really appreciate that. But they get me angry. They get me so upset and so angry as to the trials and tribulations of what has actually happened in our horrible, horrible past. And it makes you appreciate the future. People of color, of all the different things that they've had to go through, and it's the behind the scenes. First of all, it was a fantastic movie. Regardless of that, if you can't take that in, I mean, we shouldn't be having a conversation first and foremost. But if you can, I mean, it's so eye opening. It's not like something like, oh my God, I was this one person and now I watch this and I'm a completely different person because of this, But it forces you to experience that with these characters, because they play them so well. And I just loved it. I loved it. It was emotional. There were ups and downs, and every purpose for why. And it wasn't like a targeted thing. I don't believe at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. No, I think it's a great movie.
Outside of that, regardless of how you look at it, I think it's a great movie. But this was an added bonus. It was an added bonus in the sense that, it really opens your mind, and it was really, I really appreciated the movie, a lot. So
awesome.
I think it was.
Well, again, one of the things too, I know that you like things that are based on true stories. So I love
that. I love that. I can get on board with fiction all the time, but something that is a true story. I'm kind of the school of Cory in the sense that I also love documentaries, but you must love documentaries because they're based on things that are true. And even when I was a young pup, like when I would play with toys, or when I would play toys.
Thank you.
Yeah. When I would play toys, I would yell at people. I'd be like, my brother would, I'd be playing Ninja Turtles, as real as that would be. And
but you want to make it realistic.
And my brother would come in with, a Jurassic Park Tyrannosaurus Rex, and I'd be like, that would never happen. That would never, ever happen in Ninja Turtles.
Honestly, those two worlds do not collide.
No.
They're
It would
separate.
upset me. And even with video games, I'm the same way. Like, if I'm going into it as a fantasy, I can suspend disbelief. But if I'm going into it knowing that it's real, it should be real, and that's how I feel. So, but yeah, absolutely.
I'm with you on that.
Absolutely appreciate that. It was a great movie. Great actors. Awesome. All the way around.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Very much so. Yep.
All right, guys, we got another shot sitting in front of us here, so let's do that real quick. Please join us if you've got it. By now, we're almost hour and a half, hour 40 into a 2-hour podcast. You should have that.
You should know the drill.
Bottle of hooch right next to you.
It should be finished.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Machu
You call yourself a fan? You call yourself a Schnozzcast fan? Here we go. Oh, yeah.
Sweet sassy molassy.
So, I think I'm the last to go here. And we've had a lot of great reviews tonight. A lot of positive reviews. People loving what they were given.
And now time for a turn.
That's all going to change.
I was given level 16 by Nick. And I got to say, not a fan.
Level 16.
I was really concerned. I'm like, wait, did I have to give Bob these? But I realized I gave Greg his assignment.
I gave you level 16.
You did.
Did I?
You did.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
No, I
yeah,
remember
I
it
did.
now. Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
oh.
I remember
I've
that.
made a huge mistake. So level
It was the
16
bottom of the barrel.
I didn't know. I was out of choices. Level 16 is on Netflix. Long story short, it is a story about a group of young ladies.
Sleuts?
No.
Ladies of the night?
Young ladies.
Oh, real young.
Like teenagers.
Oh, trafficked. Okay, got it.
No, they're in a building with multiple floors, and the floors they're all trying to work up to being good enough to get up to level 16.
I'm all
so this is
I'm
kinda-
all about the levels.
I was saying, this is kind of like platform.
It's right. It's a very. I feel like I've watched this already. I didn't have to watch a platform, but it's also similar to like at least one or two other shows I can think of. But so I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody
No, please
because
do.
I'm not gonna remember. I'm not gonna recommend it to you. So
You're like, I hate this so much.
I wouldn't
Don't go
recommend
watch
to
it. But if
anybody.
you do, I don't want to spoil it for you.
It started out with some promise where some of the young ladies and some of the adults in the film seemed like they might be good actors, but I think they just were given a shitty plot, and there was horrible camera work. There was the moments of tension were really like all sorts of bullshit, and I couldn't suspend disbelief. And I'm like, I get what they were trying to do. It was trying to be some sort of like a sci-fi, like independent, like an Ex Machina. I was expecting an Ex Machina kind of a thing.
Like a thriller kind of.
But it did not deliver on that, and the ending was just a fucking bucket of disappointment.
Shit show.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm hard to pick for. I'm not blaming Nick
Very
for giving
true,
me this. But and sometimes you've given me stuff that I'm like, oh man, I did not expect that to be as good as it was. In this case, I did not expect it to be as bad as it was. It was bad. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. I would probably give it a D+. If you have nothing else to watch and you're at the bottom of the barrel, pick something else. Don't go for level 16.
If you have nothing else to watch,
Yeah.
don't go outside. Go outside and fish.
I will tell you this.
Yeah.
It caught my interest a little bit. I'm not as in depth as Bob. Camera views, all that stuff. I haven't gotten to that. I haven't gotten to that level yet. But I will say this: 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. However,
What the fuck?
6.1 on IMDb.
6.1%?
Yeah.
Now that
6.1 out of 10.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then TV Guide.
Yeah, but 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. Holy cow!
83%.
Yeah.
But then TV Guide gives it.
We did just have a pandemic, so people were desperate.
TV Guide gave it a 46%.
It's not good.
So it's up in the air. Like, okay, well,
Not in my mind. It's not up in the
Rotten
air.
Tomatoes, I mean, is typically pretty good, right?
No.
Typically,
Nah.
but now,
No,
now
Corey
I
says
don't
no.
know what to think about
I'm-
Rotten Tomatoes.
Dude, I've never been a fan of Rotten Tomato scores.
So it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
There's only so many things that
Can't have a
Bob has
home run every time.
No, but you could have a home run. Like if I had the wealth of, and this is not to defend anything, but
Okay.
I don't have the wealth of movie knowledge that you guys have.
Yeah,
So
we're all aware.
I really don't have like the cool thing about you is like you are so sitting pretty because like you have watched so many movies, but you are so like in depth, enthralled with movies like that. You're like,
Oh, I'll totally. I
camera
watched the whole
angle,
thing. I did not.
Actors,
I could have very easily, within the first 20 minutes, gone like, "This is bullshit. I'm asking for my money back." But I did not do it. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'll
I
just
mean-
watch the whole thing. It didn't cost me anything. I'm going to give a full
So
review.
wait, hold on. How are you asking for your money back if it didn't cost you anything?
It was that bad.
That doesn't make any we
I just figured out a way to.
We haven't established that rule. Sorry.
That Netflix is not free. I pay for Netflix every month.
No. But the one thing I can say that I appreciate about you is that, like I said before, different strokes. It entertained me, but you are on a depth level that's completely different from me, and the cool thing is that you are not going to sugarcoat something, and I appreciate that, because if you were to fucking toot my horn and tell me like, no, it was okay, I'm gonna give it a C, I don't appreciate that. I appreciate you being like, no, I hated it. I love that. That's what I want because
So
that's
do
what I
I.
want. That's what I want people to know. That's what I want people to know. I mean, honestly, really. I mean,
I'm
because
telling you, when I started giving this review, I did not expect to get complimented after I gave it.
dude,
I figured I'm like,
I'm telling you, if you don't like it, fucking tell me. I mean, no one has to tell Cory that because he hates everything, but unless Todd gives it to him, I'm sorry.
well.
That's right.
All right, so let's
Hell
do new
yeah.
assignments. Let's do new assignments because we got about a little less than 15 minutes and we want to do pick of the week. So
Don't give me Bob.
Excel says that I have Todd, Cory has me, Todd has Nick, and Nick has Cory.
It's fucking.
I have Nick again.
And I have you again. But this is the
This
beauty.
is great though, Todd,
This is the
because
beauty
you
of the
love
random
giving
formula.
me movies.
So okay, anybody want to jump in here?
No.
Yep, I got you, Bob.
All right, here we
I've got one for Nick already.
All right, so you're gonna go second, Todd. Go ahead, Cory.
Right.
You have Zach Stone is going to be famous.
Zach Stone. There is a chance I may have already seen this, Cory, but I will look after the break.
Okay.
After we break. To be famous. Okay, go ahead, Todd.
I'm gonna do something with a little. It's again Black History Month. Have you seen Black Klansman,
Oh,
Nick?
No.
Black Klansman, it is.
Sounds good. It's going to be a predominantly white movie, right?
Yeah.
it's a tour de force of white cinema.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
All right, I got Todd. Again,
Yes, sir.
Todd, I don't want to give you another series because I couldn't be happier that you liked Peaky Blinders. I'm going to stick with it, so I need to give you a movie. Have you seen Sexy Beast?
I don't think so.
British film with who's the
I haven't
guy?
seen it.
Okay.
It's she's just British. I'm like, yeah, I haven't seen that.
It's solved. You got Sexy Beast. All right, which leaves
Nick has me.
yeah.
Yeah, Cory, have you seen The Phenomenon?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Netflix, I assume.
Yeah, where can he find that?
Let me check it out.
That's a series, isn't it, Bob? Sexy Beasts or Sexy Beast?
Sexy Beast is a movie.
Looks like watch for free on Tubi.
Okay.
Is it The Phenomenon or Phenomenon?
The Phenomenon.
So John Travolta isn't in it.
No.
All right. I don't know why I can't spell phenomenon today. I got it.
I got it on my first try. I was very surprised.
I'm like, God damn you, spell check. Just give me a fucking clue.
Cory got the autocorrect.
Oh, that's
That's what I was waiting for, and nothing happened. I
yeah,
got it.
one note's not so good on the autocorrect. I'm learning. All right, so are we all good then? No. Who had Todd? I did.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
No,
You
you're
gave
good.
me Sexy
Okay.
Beast. Sir Ben Kingsley.
Yes, that's the one. That's the
Yep.
one.
I
And
got
and the dude who was in
Don't say the dude.
the cat who was in
The smooth cat.
Departed. He was
Leonardo DiCaprio?
Jack Nicholson's number 2. You know what I'm talking about?
Is that Ray Winstone?
Mr. French. Yeah, Ray Winstone. Fucking yeah. Good luck with that film, dude. Man. Hopefully you don't have to pay for it. I don't know where it's at. I don't know where you can find it, but I don't even care because it's gonna be whatever money you gotta spend. It's gonna be worth it.
I don't know where you can find it.
I don't even know where you can find it.
I'm ready. I'll find
And
it.
even if you don't have to
I'll find
spend
it.
money, if you hate it, you might have to charge Bob.
I would
Exactly.
gladly give you money for that. 'Cause
For 1 month of
I don't
whatever
think-
the-
I'm gonna bet
the
it's not
service
gonna
is.
happen. All right. Let's get into pick of the week then.
Nope.
No,
Nope.
we're not doing pick of the week.
We can, but we're going to do Nick's existential question.
Yeah, boy. We haven't done that in a while.
We only have time for one of those segments, so you think it should be?
I was specifically asked to come up with an existential question, but it's up to you because I also have a pick of the week. So Let's do pick of the week. We'll save the existential for next week.
I think we should, only because I feel like if
It's
I took a
shorter.
poll,
Yeah, it's shorter.
if I took a poll for which one do we normally try to get to every week, like gentleman's agreement, I feel like most of you would say pick of the week.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
I mean, to play devil's advocate here,
Yeah.
we have 10 minutes.
You think we get through both?
I think we can do both.
Well, let's
do pick of the week because that's quick.
First?
Let's do it first.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we'll try to go like lightning round
Yeah.
fast.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I go first?
Absolutely.
Okay. So first, went to a vape shop. They didn't have my coils. Yep. This is my pick of the week. They didn't have
Yeah. I love it.
Didn't have my coils. Gave me a free head to my vape. That's all made of plastic. They're normally glass, and the company is called Freemax Gem. GEM. It is a head that screws on to your original vape. It's all made of plastic, and it has a coil built into it. It's actually less money than an actual coil. This was given to me for free, and it blew my mind. They didn't have my coil, but it fit onto my mod, and it blew my mind because I've never even heard of this before. But this is why, if you see me on camera tonight, why there's a purple head on my vape, because I wouldn't have purchased that. But they do come in all kinds of colors. So Freemax is the company.
I love that you went with purple though.
GEM, yeah, really. GEM, it's been working great. It's awesome. So next person.
Cory?
I can go, sure.
Yep.
My pick is going to be, where's that here? The Bellevue dual channel TENS unit off Amazon.
Is that the electro
muscle
thing,
shockers.
The
Yes.
E-stim thing? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I've been having some back issues recently, and one of the things at physical therapy that costs way too much to go 3 days a week, they use a TENS unit there, and they kind of act like it's this magical thing that you cannot get yourself.
Right.
So after I purchased my own, I'm like, okay, well, I can stretch and everything like that at home, and then use my own TENS unit. And dude, it's relaxing too. Like after you have it on for 20, 30 minutes, like the feeling you get from it, it's like a massage. Right? To me, at least it is. I know there's some people that I've talked to them about that are like, oh, it hurts. It's not for me.
Put it on their penis. Yeah, we know.
Oh, or your taint, but
Yeah. So, question.
yes.
Twice now I've sent you an amazing family chiropractor, but you've still not gone.
I'm still not going to
You're buying things online to try and solve a problem
why
that
would
can
you-
be fixed with a chiropractor.
I also bought
That's
this
a witch
prior
doctor.
We're up against the clock here, Nick. Now you're gonna bring up your
sorry.
beef about the chiropractor?
Twice. I just asked him twice.
I did buy the TENS unit prior to our conversation about the chiropractor.
Continue. All right.
But yeah, anyone that's having some sort of back issue, muscle issue, daily aches and pains.
Don't go to the chiropractor. Buy what Cory's.
Oh no, I mean you can definitely go to the chiropractor if you want, but for every day for relief, this is phenomenal.
You could fix the problem or you could band-aid it. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Put it on your wiener, Cory. See what happens.
Who says I already haven't, Todd?
Oh, the patches are way too big for that.
Even their wiener.
Todd, you're up. Pick of the week.
Pick of the week: Brew Doctor Kombucha Superberry, baby. I got it on the cam here. Maybe.
Yep, you
Awesome
do.
stuff.
Where can we buy it?
Awesome stuff. You could buy it at any Kroger or Kroger affiliate.
You mean the Kroger?
The Kroger.
All
Well,
right.
QFC here or Fred Meyer.
All right, fantastic. So I will go very quick. I had to change my pick of the week so I can go through one that I can get through very quickly. My pick of the week is Made In. I needed to buy a saucepan this week because apparently all the pans and pots and shit that I bought aren't the right sizes, and I need to be able to pot chicken to make fucking chicken pot pie soup. So I bought a new. I'd already bought a couple of pots and pans from Made In, and I'm in love with the way that they cook. They're fucking gorgeous pans, and they clean real easy, which is absolutely key because I don't cook a lot. So if you're looking for something that's it's a little bit more on the pricey side, but it's fucking sexy cookware, Made In. Look them up.
Sounds good. So moving on to existential question. If we only had music for this.
Existential Question of the Week.
All right, so for this week's version of Nick's existential question of the week, we're going to go into something very simple. But the question that I flipped to in the book this week was, of any of your friends, it doesn't have to be anyone on the podcast, but it would be nice if it was. If you had one person, you purchase a new home, one person that you know that could design or decorate, we'll say decorate the inside of your house that you know, who would it be and why? I'll go first.
Has to be someone on the podcast?
No, it doesn't. Okay. I specifically said it doesn't.
Shoot. All right.
But I will first pick Cory. So my thing is I want to go with someone that is on the podcast, because it's people that are listening are going to understand and recognize who Cory is. No. I'm not tuning
You're setting an impossibly high bar. I just said this after the podcast. You're like, I'm going to pick someone on the podcast.
I'm saying it doesn't have to be.
All right.
But you better back it up. So I'm backing it up because Cory and I run parallel when it comes to gadgets. Cory and I run parallel when it comes to things that are utilitarian. Yes. And I feel like that if I gave Cory an open forum to decorate, design, whatever you want to fucking call it, my house, there would be a lot of things that I would understand or appreciate, like that he would get that I would have never thought of myself. And so my pick
Funko
is,
shelves?
No. If he did that, we'd be done.
Well, you just put it in
Our
his hand.
friendship would be done.
You don't think he'd do a Funko shelf?
No, he knows. Cory knows when to pull the trigger and when not to. So,
all right.
So yeah, I think there would be a lot of.
That's why there's only certain Funkos.
Yeah, I think there would be a lot of absolutely cool shit that he would come up with an unlimited budget. And that's my pick.
All right, Todd.
So, can the friend be your wife?
Sure.
Well, then I'd say Mary.
Okay,
that's
and
a
why?
smart answer, sir.
And why?
Mainly because, again, she's got a great eye for what's in. She's also very she focuses on making sure that things aren't too girly. Like I like color on walls, so I don't have to think we have any rooms that are just flat white or anything like that. So Mary's got a great decorating sense and style, which I like. And she's always, like I said, she's always like, I don't want this to be too girly. I want it to be something that pops, but is neutral, that both men and women would like. And Mary is down with my fetish for televisions and whatnot. So literally,
she is.
So again, I couldn't ask for a better partner. So if someone designed, the only thing that she doesn't know is like all the tricks around making sure that if we're redesigning the entire house, again, making sure that there's Ethernet on every wall and all those sorts of things. But
she doesn't know where to put your porn cellar.
Correct. But otherwise,
so Todd, speaking of porn cellar, you were trying to say tips and you said tits. Was that a Freudian slip?
Okay.
Todd, my question for that is, so when are you going to let her start decorating the house?
Oh, she doesn't know that much.
Yeah.
You guys have been living in the same house for how long now? And you're just now going to let her start decorating?
No, but I'm like, if we it was an existential question. I guess I didn't ask the clarifying question if it had to be. I'm like, if we moved into another place, I still would pick Mary to do it over anyone else.
So I
like it, Todd.
I have a clarifying question.
Yeah.
In this example, does the person know that they're redoing the interior design for you, right?
Well, we're not going to like put a hood over their head and grab them and throw them in a van.
Okay. So I'm gonna piggyback on Todd's answer. Then
Yep.
I'll go next and say it'd be Lori, because that's the reason why we're together. That she gets me. We've had a lot of conversations about this. She's actually I redid my whole bedroom with her help and design, and looks great. I can't think of anybody else that I would give it to.
I mean, that's super awesome. It doesn't have to be like for Cory. He shouldn't have to feel it's Danielle. You shouldn't have to feel it's Lori, but you know that you guys are so fucking retardedly geeky that you know, that's awesome. She would probably do something specifically
Yeah, she
for
gets
you.
me to a level where I'm like, I can't think of anybody else who I'd rather put in their hands to do that.
Because
she's already had some experience.
You'd be like, whoa. What is this? And she'd be like, well, the Millennium Falcon really.
She would do that shit. She would do that shit because she would know.
Because
she
of
knew it
you.
was my, yeah.
Exactly.
Totally.
I gotcha.
Corey.
So, clarifying question.
So mine's not Danielle.
This
And
whole girlfriend I had back in high
okay.
school.
Don't worry, she's
If you
never
pick
gonna
me,
listen
can
to
I
this,
pick
so.
you?
Yeah, can Todd? Can Todd pick you? Can he change his answer?
So it's whoever you pick to decorate the home, correct?
The question was,
Who would you pick?
yeah,
again.
the question was, if you had to pick one person that you know personally to decorate your house or remodel your house, however you want to interpret it, who would you pick and why?
I thought I had the ultimate answer there, but I guess I did not.
I guess I did not.
You did not, sir.
Yeah, you don't have to follow on the trend and say, you know, you could say like, you know, Danielle and I have a lot in common.
She doesn't watch this fucking podcast. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah,
Corey.
but
no.
As far as things
You could
that
say Nick.
As far no.
Or Todd.
As far as things that I'm into, you know, she's into other things, and I respect that, and I love what she's into. But we're just different. But if I had to pick one person, it would be my friend from work.
I can
you know,
sense the tension here. He's like, oh,
Anything.
fucking Nick picked me. What?
No,
but I'm
no,
also with Danielle.
no,
what
no,
do I
no,
do?
no.
Danielle, Nick. Oh my God, I can't.
No, because
pick.
I found now I found the other perfect answer after my clarifying question.
Here we go.
So, there's these places that I love up
I'm gonna
north
pick Herbert
in
/
Oscoda.
Rodney to decorate my apartment.
pick a business up north. That'd be awesome.
I would like to find like the original builders of like El Cortez.
Certain. Oh yes.
You want?
Yeah, but you
your
don't know them
house-
personally.
You want your house to look like a
Mexican
small
restaurant?
Michigan town beachfront motel.
I would love nothing more than that.
All right.
First thing is I'm on board with the fact of what you're talking about, because the El Cortez and the intricacies of like the chairs and everything else, and like making it so authentic.
Intricacies?
Oh,
Really?
dude, have you seen those chairs are like
I was
whittled
there.
into
Yes,
and
yes.
painted like those. Not to say that you want
Whittled?
like a Mexican theme,
They will.
No.
It started out as a redwood, then they made it a chair.
but that certainly you walk into an experience. You don't walk into like a typical Mexican restaurant.
Yeah. But Todd does bring up a good point with that. I don't know anyone personally that.
I'll let it go.
Well, thank you, sir.
I'll let it go.
And there you go. That's my answer.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so a nameless, faceless interior
Whoever
decorator
designed the
from
El Cortez
Oscoda.
in Oscoda, Michigan.
We can track him down. I'm sure he's dead by now, but
I bet his name's Rodney.
I call him Herbert.
That's true.
I think his name is El.
And that's the podcast of the week. Thanks for joining us. Please tune in next week. We'll be back here for episode 160. On behalf of Nick, Corey, and Todd, this is Bob saying, have a good weekend. We'll see you next week.